Hello, gorgeous manifestors. How are you? And welcome to part 3 of this week's Aligned and Limitless Bootcamp. I thought I'd change it up a little bit today and get very comfortable in a very aligned way on the sofa in my office. So I invite you to also get really comfortable for the delicious hour or so ahead of us as we all come together for part 3. So parts 1 and 2 of this Aligned and Limitless Bootcamp have been awesome. The energy has been amazing. Hi, darlings. Hello, hello, hello. And today we are going to be building upon that further. So as most of you, I think, know now, my name is Sarah Morgan. I'm a law of attraction and manifesting coach. I work with clients all around the world to help them to master the art of manifesting. It is my insatiable passion to help hundreds of millions still in the years ahead of me, to help even more people to master the art of manifesting and to become the limitless creators that we are all truly here to be. And my insatiable passion is law of attraction, manifesting, universal insight, multiversal insight, but making it very accessible and demystifying it. So often people find my work and suddenly, having studied manifesting, for example, for 4 years, suddenly when they find the tools I teach, everything kind of moves. And so that's what I'm passionate about doing. And this week is the Aligned and Limitless Bootcamp, which is kind of like a little taster of what is to come in my Aligned and Limitless Inner Circle that starts on my birthday on the 4th of November. If you're loving the content that's happening this week, that is nothing compared to what is actually going to be going on in that 3-month Aligned and Limitless Inner Circle immersion. So that is for those of you that are ready to move, that are ready to, I guess, unleash everything that's in your vortexes, all of your desires. You are ready to show the universe that you are serious, because it's always about meeting the universe halfway. It's not just about sitting here and waiting for things to fall out the sky. Manifesting is about inspired action too. So if you want to learn more about that, then you can click the link above. There's limited spots for that inner circle. And if you want to book a clarity call with me, a free clarity call just to chat about it, just to see whether we're the right match, that's absolutely fine as well. So you can just drop me an email. Again, all the details are on that web page, where the URL above this links to. Okay, my darlings. So day 1 of the Aligned and Limitless Bootcamp, we were talking about, getting aligned to your desires. And I was, I will say kind of what I've always said is that manifesting is about 2 things that dovetail. The first thing is getting aligned to your desires and feeling good and feeling happy. And then the second part is moving with the inspired action. And generally that second part is where people get stuck. So often when I'm working with clients, they've had the inspired actions, but they don't realize they're inspired actions, or they've had the inspired actions, but they're too, their ego talks them out of it. So there's fears around following those inspired actions. But it's the inspired actions that get the universe moving. Okay, so this week is about taking action. So yesterday we got you guys moving, and there are a lot of you that came on yesterday's session. Your vibration wasn't that high. By the end of it, you were buzzing, which is awesome. And that's one of the things that I love to do with my clients. And so it's expanding on that today, but also bringing you some brand new content today. So 2.5 years ago, it's over 2.5 years ago now, when I started mastering the art of manifesting, I was absolutely adamant I was going to demystify it, which is something that I still do to today, and I talk about all of that in my books as well and in my courses. But I never would have imagined 2.5 years ago I would be where I am now in terms of vibrational mastery, in terms of working with leading edge insight that literally I think 1 or 2 other manifesting coaches are working with. It's really unusual, but it's all the British manifesting coaches whom I have trained as well. So we're kind of working with some brand new leading edge insight, and the one-to-one clients that I'm working with at the minute and my academy clients, they are all benefiting from this new insight. And I'm going to be bringing a lot of this through in the inner circle, a whole powerful 3 months of immersion into all of this. But I wanted to talk to you guys about some of this stuff today because it's really, really exciting. You know, mastering the art of manifesting is just the warm up. You know, this is about getting truly aligned and limitless. And there are some brand new things that I'm going to be teaching in this inner circle that I just kind of want to give you a taster of today to get you excited and that you can start moving with today. There's literally so much at all of our fingertips. It's not just the law of attraction, there's other powerful laws. I'm going to be bringing forward some new insight which goes beyond what we think of as our kind of inner being and source energy. And this is, again, just to get you excited and to help you feel aligned, okay? And the tools that I'm going to be offering you today are going to be really powerful for helping you to get aligned and to stay aligned, and to become limitless. Okay, so I'm really, really excited. Let me know how you're all doing today. Let me know what it is that you all went off to do yesterday afternoon to raise your vibration. Let me know what inspired actions you've taken as well, guys, because it's not just about raising your vibration and feeling good. When you're up there, you get that inspired action. Are you moving with that inspired action, or is your ego kind of talking you out of it? Let me know where you're at. I'll probably have more time today to do a bit of a live Q&A because I haven't really had time to do that yet because my higher self and the universe have been giving me lots of content to share with you. Hopefully today, if not then definitely tomorrow, we'll get more of a chance to do a live Q&A so I can kind of coach you live and in real time. And again, you can kind of get to see the way that I work with the guidance that I receive, which of course you guys benefit from, those of you that are doing the inner circle. So, okay, darlings, lots of you tuning in, which is lovely to have you all here. Lots of comments. Oh, hi, Louise, my angel. Hope you were good. Emily listened to some music. Joanne walked the dog by the water. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, and then Claire posted about her soul surgery sessions. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, guys, so lots of action, lots of alignment, and now how to heighten this further. So where shall I start, universe? Where shall I start? Okay, so I'm going to give you some different tips and things, or different tips and things to introduce you to. So obviously there's only so much detail I can go into on a live like this at the minute, but just to get you thinking about how much more there is out there. So as we know, harnessing law of attraction to the max, you become this power phenomenal creator, okay, if you are feeling happy and aligned and you are moving the inspired actions. So it's twofold, and Sarah's just, my higher self, is just kind of guiding me to say, often people get high vibrational, and when they don't move with the inspired action, their vibration drops again. So that inspired action could literally be anything. It could be a gentle nudge to go and have a walk. It could be a big inspired leap, like, I don't know, investing in something, who knows, it could be anything. But when you're in that high vibration, Sarah's saying, you get to hold it there the more you keep moving, okay? So if you're finding, and I feel like this is relevant to a couple of you watching, she's saying, if you're feeling like yesterday you felt high vibration, but you're not following the inspired actions you're getting, that vibration isn't going to stay there. Basically, it's about keep moving with the inspired actions. We're here to move and expand, not to, she's saying not to filter the inspired actions you get. So we talked about this yesterday, not kind of getting inspired actions going, oh yeah, I'll do that one because it's the easier one to do, but I won't do that one because it feels a bit scary, or whatever it is. Don't filter your inspired actions, she's saying. Move with each and every one of them, because you're not being given those by chance. You are being given those by your awesome non-physical team, or the universe, however it is you want to think of it. I know the non-physical team can sound quite out there. I would have thought that 2.5 years ago, but at least call it the universe. That's what I always used to do. You are being guided and given those actions because they're trying to show you the fastest and shortest way to getting what it is that you want to manifest into your experience. And when you start filtering the inspired actions, you're putting resistance on the trail. You're not actually moving with their guidance. So don't filter the inspired actions, but just remember, if you're feeling high vibrational but you're not then moving with the inspired actions you were given, that vibration isn't going to hold, because again, the universe is trying to get you to move. And when you're moving with what feels good, you feel good. Okay, so just a little reminder on that. Okay, so some fun tools to play around with. So if you want to learn more about some of the stuff I'm talking about today, then I highly recommend the Believe book. Many of you know that I follow closely the work that comes from Fifth Dimension Earth. So it's number 5 TH Dimension Earth, and it's Liv and Raf who run Fifth Dimension Earth that are bringing this new leading edge insight forward. I'm, as always, teaching it in my own way and teaching it the way that I use it to really harness and power law of attraction. Okay, and one of the things that I've been teaching my clients recently is to create buckets. Okay, so bear with me, this is one of the Believe teachings, but I've slightly used it in my way to apply to law of attraction and manifesting to help my clients power charge their alignment. And what you can do is, every time you feel high vibrational, capture that feeling and ask your higher self to put it into a high vibe bucket. If you want, you can call it whatever you want, but let's play today, because obviously there's a lot more detail around this. I'll be going into the inner circle, but to start today, ask your higher self or the universe, but we're going to be talking about your higher self today as well, because your higher self is what I had always referred to as the universe and source energy. I always knew something was guiding me. Now I know it's my higher self, and each of you has a higher self. Okay, your higher self has had many previous physical incarnations. The things you are trying to manifest now, Sarah's saying, your higher self has manifested, or your higher self's previous physical incarnations have manifested in previous lives. So your higher self has effectively manifested all of the things you want now. They've manifested in their previous physical incarnations lives. They know how to do this, but it's again moving with the inspired actions that your higher self brings you. Those impulses, those inspired actions come from your higher self. So can you see, when you start filtering them out and saying yes to some of them and no to others, you're not allowing your higher self to come through and show you the roadmap. They know how to do all of this. So follow every single nudge and inspired action you are given. Okay, and with your higher self, you can ask them to create a high vibe bucket. And what's really powerful with this bucket is you will get confirmation when your higher self has made that bucket, because you will feel your truth vortex, which is just below your belly button. You'll kind of feel it light up. And we'll go on shortly to talking about getting you and helping you to create some truths to load into those buckets as well. But start with a high vibe bucket. And every time you feel a high vibration, ask your higher self to put that in that bucket, and make sure your vibration is high, that there's no low vibration in it. But every time you have those moments where you're buzzing or where you feel deeply aligned, at peace, balance, ask your higher self to put those emotions in that bucket, or those vibrations in that bucket. And what happens is, then as you build those buckets more and more and more, when you're having a moment of contrast, you can actually say to your higher self, right, pour that bucket of high vibration into me now. And I had a client that did this, and she's not really doing any of the other Believe teachings yet. She's not following the releasing process that they teach, which I talk about much more in my Beyond the Art of Manifesting group. She was just using the buckets, and she has some contrast come up, and then by using the buckets, it disempowered it, it lessened it, and it was really powerful for her. So this is something that you can just play with. Okay, catch those high vibe feelings. Sarah's saying to me, you know, like when we say, if only we could bottle that feeling, actually you can do. If you load it into a high vibe bucket, or a fun pack bucket is what Liv and Raf talk about in the Believe, but you can have a fun pack bucket, which is a bucket of high vibration. So every time you're laughing in hysterics, like as you're doing it, say, right, higher self, put this in the fun pack bucket. Every time you are dancing around to music and you feel happy, put that in the fun pack bucket. Every time you were feeling aligned and balanced, put that in the fun pack bucket. Every time you were feeling powerful and confident, put that in, okay? And that becomes a power bucket that you can use to help you disempower contrast, and it fuels your alignment. Remember, this boot camp is about being aligned and limitless. And so these are some of the new ways. Don't worry if it feels a little bit over your head. Remember, if you were doing the inner circle, you're going to have me guiding you closely on this for the whole 3 months, so you really start to nail this and understand how to use it. But as a basic starting point today, this is a very, very powerful one to play with, okay? When you're, I'm just trying to think what else has gone in my fun pack, or Highvibe bucket: laughter, singing, when I feel a sense of wonder, when I've seen an amazing film, or when I look up at the stars at night, if I'm watching butterflies flying around and I feel those emotions of love and peace, they go into that bucket, okay? So a really fun one to start with, and you can literally start to just collate all of those high vibrations in one place, and then when you're feeling contrasty, ask your higher self to pour that bucket of high vibration into your body, and it's awesome, okay? There's so many other tools around contrast that I will be teaching in the inner circle, but I'm just wanting to give you a couple of new ones today because these are really exciting, and you know, you can really play with them. I'm just going to scroll down just to see if there's any questions on that. Really love to see your face. Hi Kate, my darling. I had drawn that was a breakthrough last night. I feel absolutely amazing today. Awesome. Love following you. And the 5th, if you have anything coming through for me, I'm listening. Going to restart Money Month and signed up for 5th Dimension Earth. Awesome. Well done, Kate, darling. Awesome. Okay, so you are in that perfect place to bottle those high vibrations, or to put them in that bucket. Okay, so that's one that you can start playing with to help fuel your alignment. The other thing that you can do is start creating power truths, okay? And this is something I'm going to be working with a lot more as well in the inner circle and generally with my clients, and I have been doing so with the clients I'm working with at the minute, working with the powerful law of truth. So again, there's other laws that drive your alignment that, of course, then drive your manifesting flow and drive your amplification and leveraging of the law of attraction, okay? One of them is the law of truth. And again, it may sound a bit overwhelming and complicated, or it may not. I know when I started learning about this, I was a bit like, whoa, I don't know what to do with all this information. So again, don't worry too much, you know, especially if you're joining the inner circle, I will guide you through this all. But just for your awareness today, to understand some of the new tools that you can have at your fingertips to help you fuel that alignment. Law of truth is really powerful, and it can really power your alignment, okay? And so you can create truths, and every time you create a new truth, again, get your higher self to just confirm it has been created by lighting up the truth vortex below your belly button. But you can create truths. So if you're having a day where you're feeling a bit wobbly, you can create a new truth that says, actually, I know that isn't true. The truth is I feel very powerful. Or if that's a step too far, and this is again where I'm going to break it down in the inner circle as well, you can say, I allow myself to feel powerful, or I desire to feel powerful. But as you're working with the law of truth, again, it fuels your alignment. And a bit like the bucket of high vibration, you can have buckets of truths. So I've got a money bucket, a work bucket, a wonder bucket. You know, I've been creating these buckets for months now. But again, if ever I'm feeling a bit contrasty, I will ask my higher self, for example, for money, to pour the money bucket of truths and high vibration into me, okay? Because as well as putting the truths in that bucket, I've put high vibration around money in that bucket. So again, if someone pays me, I'm like, awesome, I love that feeling, put that high vibration into my money bucket, okay? So you can kind of start to get a picture about how this works. And because law of truth is so powerful, it's either a truth or it isn't, and you just feel when it is, and you know that it is because your higher self will just light up that truth vortex below your belly button. Okay, so law of truth is another really, really powerful law that drives your alignment and limitlessness. Okay, because this is about unlocking everything that's in your vortex. It's not just about manifesting some stuff and not other stuff. It's not about, just not going at full pelt with this. This is about unleashing everything that you desire. Okay, so there's the law of truth. There's also the law of balance, and balance, you can literally call that law of balance in. I'm going to see with Sarah's guidance, I may do a balance practice where I call in my non-physical team to amplify that for you. But balance is where you are aligned. And again, the law of balance, if it's going to drive your alignment, it allows everything to come into you. It allows the clarity and the guidance and the manifestations to come in. And again, all of this is about driving your alignment. So to learn how to harness the law of balance is amazing. You can literally call it in. So if I get time today, I might do balance practice. So again, it's another tool for you to kind of go away and play with. And then there's the law of desire. Okay, really, really, really powerful at turbocharging your alignment and turbocharging your manifesting flow. I can't tell you how powerful the law of desire is. Okay, again, something we'll be working with really closely in the inner circle. It's something that you, if you were doing the dream day journal correctly, it's something that you connect into, okay, by default. So you will know when you're kind of in the law of desire, because you will want to eat the thing that it is that you're thinking about. So the whole point of the dream day journal is that when you're writing it, you feel scrummy, you want to eat everything you're writing about. That's when you're harnessing the law of desire. And you can harness that even more by focusing on one desire at a time. Okay, and if you've got one clear desire that doesn't bring you any contrast, it doesn't make you contract in any way, but it literally turbocharges you, that's when you are harnessing the law of desire. And when you're harnessing the law of desire, guess what? You feel freaking aligned, and guess what? You become limitless because your manifestations start flooding in. Okay, so many things flood in when you are harnessing the law of desire. So I'm really excited to teach more around that in the inner circle. But today, think about, is there one thing that you want? Okay, and does it literally make you want to eat it? Just check that there's no resistance there. Just check that there's no contracting around that. Just know that you want to have it and that you can have it, and take action, guys. Okay, so it's not just about sitting there and feeling the desire. Take action, move, show the universe you are serious. This is where aligned leaping comes in. Okay, the number of times I've leapt in the last 2.5 years, I've known I've wanted something, I've known it's felt in alignment, and I've leapt and I've made it happen, and then the universe rearranges around me. Money is a classic one. If I've needed to make an investment, I've literally, my ego's been going, I don't have the money, but my soul is like, this is where you need to go. That's going to unlock everything. And then I make the leap, and then the money comes in. Classic example. So harnessing law of desire, but move with it. Don't just sit there and wait for it. Again, this is about unlocking everything that's in your vortex. It's about you becoming limitless, but you have to move. But trust that when you move with it, everything else moves around you. The universe is your personal cheerleading squad that's going to make sure all of the cooperative components that you need come in. But the universe wants to know you're serious. You kind of got to move first. But the power of that law of desire and the clarity it brings you and the guidance that you get and the alignment that it brings you is freaking rocket fuel. It turbocharges your manifesting. So although we'll be doing much more about that in the inner circle, start playing with that today. What is the one thing right now that you want that only makes you feel excited and eager anticipation? There's no contrast, there's no thinking when will I have it or how will I have it. Literally the power of it excites you so much, and then move with it that's when everything starts to open up. So some of you watching may want to share, what is the desire that you have at the minute, and are you going to move with it? And don't think, yeah, but I can't move with it. Don't allow your ego to come in and say that. You know, if it's the dream house that you want, go and book viewings and move with it. Don't wait until you have the money to book the viewings. Do you see what I mean? That's how everybody tends to slow it down, but I'm trying to help you here to kind of flip it and do it the fast way. So law of desire, really, really, really freaking powerful. Okay, my darlings. So again, allow the law of desire, the law of truth, the law of balance to drive your alignment. Call the law of balance in. You know, if you're feeling non-aligned, you can literally ask your higher self to bring the law of balance in. You can feel it come into your body and just calm you, and just sit there and be in that balanced vibration, knowing that that's going to bring that limitlessness that you want, rather than the kind of struggling and pushing. Call in the law of balance, work with the law of truth, create some powerful truths, powerful buckets, and load up your high vibrations into those buckets as well. Catch them. And again, apologies if it sounds slightly over your head, because this is brand new insight that I'm now teaching, but know that this is leading edge of leading edge insight that you're not really going to be able to get virtually anywhere else. So if you're ready for that, again, this inner circle is about rocket launching you into 2020, into the next decade. If there's things that aren't really moving in your life at the minute, let's unlock those and get them moving. Like, there's no better time. Well, it's always an amazing time to unlock everything that's in your vortex, especially as you are going into a new decade. So be very, very, very excited. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to talk about today, again, to help to drive your alignment and limitlessness, is your amazing, awesome higher self. So again, something we'll be doing a lot of work around in the inner circle. So your higher self is the eternal part of you. So Abraham Hicks always talked about source energy, and how that source energy is infinite intelligence, and they have the answer on the roadmap, and that is basically your higher self. And I now work with my higher self consistently. So my higher self is called Sarah. Everyone's higher self have their own names. They don't, by the way, have to be the same name. Mine, by just coincidence, my name's Sarah and my higher self is called Sarah. That's not really that usual at all. It's just the way it's worked. I think there was some misconception around that in the beginning. I think everybody thought their higher self was going to be called a version of their name. It's quite unusual. But your higher self has the roadmap. So what we will be doing in the inner circle is working with your higher self, connecting into him or her. If you are female, your higher self is a female. If you are male, your higher self is a male. And we will be harnessing your higher self and getting you really used to flowing with them. Again, all of my clients that are working with me on a one-to-one basis and in the academy at the minute, all of them are proactively working with their higher selves now. They are talking to them, they are receiving guidance from them. Obviously, all of my clients are freaking flying, not just because of the higher self stuff, because of everything, but the higher self is such rocket fuel behind that as well. And they're mastering that alignment so they can access that insight from their higher self. It's really, really, really exciting. So when you receive those nudges, those impulses, those inspired actions, actually know who they're coming from. Your higher self is like your best friend. They are with you the entire time. Sarah's with me right now as I'm doing this. Your higher selves are with you right now as you're watching this. The reason you're watching this isn't by chance, okay? The reason I'm doing this live isn't by chance. Everything is guided, okay? So I always do what Sarah guides me to do, hence the aligned and limitless inner circle. I only ever do what I'm guided to do. And so start really leaning on your higher self, speaking to them. You know, I will be doing, you know, higher self connection practices in the inner circle as well. But just know that guidance you're getting, when you start to understand that's your higher self and they are with you and guiding you every single second of every single day, you realize you're never, ever, ever alone. And again, that heightened connection to your higher self drives your alignment, okay? Again, whenever I'm feeling a bit contrasty, I kind of slow down, pause, and I connect into Sarah, because Sarah has the answers, okay? So it's about, right, Sarah, you've done this, or, you know, if there's an issue or a problem that I'm trying to master, right, Sarah, you've nailed this in previous physical lifetimes, show me how to do this. And again, it's about being led rather than your mind trying to lead things. So some of you may know who your higher self is already. Some of you may have been doing this work with your higher self for a while. I, incidentally, guys, and this is very common with the clients I teach, when they start to realize like that it's actually their higher self that's leading them and guiding them, they realize that their higher self has always been there. They just didn't know it was them. And for me in particular, I've always been led by the universe. And so it was about 2 years of being led by the universe, or about, nearly two. Actually, no, it's about 1.5 years of being led by the universe that I then found out it was my higher self. But because I had been allowing myself to be led, it meant I was already very highly tuned to my higher self. I didn't know it was her, but because I had allowed myself to be led for 18 months, whatever it is she was leading me to do, I was really highly attuned already, okay? So some of you may already be really highly attuned without knowing. Some of you, this is brand new, and that's also really exciting because I can help you with it. But just know your higher self, again, having that daily connection into them changes everything. It drives your alignment, it drives your limitlessness, it allows you to just move so rapidly towards where you want to go, and it allows your manifestations to come in so much faster. So as I always say, move with the guidance, don't filter the guidance with it, Sarah's saying, okay, my darlings? So let me just scroll down and see if there's any comments. Okay, so someone's saying, so I want to do a day workshop but haven't sold one, but it feels aligned and I'm going to book the venue on Friday without any sales. Is this the kind of thing you mean? Yes, Catherine. So take the money off of take the focus off the sales, just take it off, okay? This is where a lot of people tend to get a bit stuck with money manifesting as well. They're doing it the hard way around. So Catherine, Sarah's saying to you specifically, that is perfect. Do it. Don't even care about the sales. Do it because you love it. So connect back into what we were talking about yesterday. What is it that you love and excites you, and spend your time doing that. And I always remember Esther Hicks, who's the author of Ask and It's Given, which is the book that I read that really got me into law of attraction. She channels Abraham. Abraham is a non-physical collective consciousness who Sarah, my higher self, has been trained by for millions of years in non-physical. And Esther was talking about when they started doing their workshops, because Esther channels Abraham, and now she does these cruise events and land cruises, and they literally have thousands of people at their events. When they very first started, though, they had about 3 or 4 people, and Abraham kept saying, but are you having fun? And they were like, yeah. And Abraham's like, well, keep going then. So, and in the having fun, now they've got the massive money flow, they've got the lifestyle, you know, all of that amazing, awesome stuff. So just be aware, absolutely do it. That is exactly the kind of inspired action, but don't do it and put loads of pressure on yourself to get that money flow back in. Allow that not to be the reason you're doing it. Does that make sense? When I started mastering the art of manifesting, I started just because I loved it. I loved talking about law of attraction. I loved helping people. I wasn't actually focused on the money flow, and then the money floodgates opened. So again, this is something we'll be doing a lot of in the inner circle as well, because obviously money tends to be a big one for people. But just to say, Catherine, I love that. Move with it, and have fun. Follow the excitement and trust that the universe will sort everything else out for you. So I love that. That's brilliant. Joanne says, I talk to my higher self a lot now and I feel her presence with me. I still have no clue what her name is, but I'm learning not to get hung up on names and details. Yeah, excellent, Joanne. Okay, so just keep moving with that, okay? Again, I didn't even know that it was Sarah for the first 18 months, but I was so highly attuned to her because I had always been allowing myself to be led. So just keep moving with that. I absolutely love it. Okay, so guys, quite a lot of new insight there today, and quite a lot to think about. And I'm just very aware, maybe some of you are sitting there going, whoa, my head feels like I need to explode. I literally just knew about law of attraction and manifesting. I didn't know about law of desire, law of truth, law of balance, high self, truth buckets, high vibration buckets. Didn't know about any of that. So allow yourself just to relax into it. Take 1 or 2 things from today that help you. Again, those of you that are signing up the Inner Circle, don't worry, I'm going to guide you through this even more closely as well. But just take 1 or 2 things today and play with them, okay? This is about moving, as always, not about just waiting for it to come in. Move, move, move. And use 1 or 2 of these tools that I've talked about today to keep driving your alignment, remembering that the alignment is what brings it all into you, as well as the movement, but the inspired actions come through when you're aligned. So continue to keep driving your alignment, following the excitement, being aligned to your desires, releasing the resistance that might be there, and just keep having fun and keep allowing yourself to be led is the main thing Sarah's saying. Allow yourself to be led. Don't filter the leading. Move with every guidance that you're given, knowing that that is the fastest way, always, 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 to unlocking limitlessly what's in your vortex. Okay, my darlings? So does anybody have any questions? This is a chance, if you want to, you may not want to, but if you want to ask me any specific questions about your own manifesting, and I can tune them into my non-physical team and answer those questions for you. So I'm just going to give it a minute or 2. If you don't have any questions, just type no. Always helpful, just in case I end up waiting for questions and no one actually wants to ask anything. Usually someone wants to ask something though. So if you don't have any questions, just say no. If you do, then type away and I will answer them for you. What else do I want to say just while I'm waiting for any questions to come through? Nothing else at the minute, because I'm just very aware I've given you a lot of new insight today, and it may be exciting but a lot to absorb. So okay, I'm just going to see if any questions are coming through. There's always a 2 or 3 minute delay, so bear with me, guys. Again, if you want to learn about the Limitless, Alliance Limitless Inner Circle, it starts on the 4th of November. Go to the link that's at the top of this video and all the information is there, my darlings. Okay, I feel like it's hard to get specific about things. Like I want so much but can't pinpoint. Okay, Kate, well, yeah, there's some very awesome stuff coming up that will help with that. That's something definitely we can address in the Inner Circle as well, which would be excellent for you, darling. So yeah, it's about you getting focused, and that's something I will be able to help with more in the Inner Circle, when I can kind of have that face-to-face contact with you and kind of tune into you a bit more. But it is important when you're working with Law of Desire and you really want to harness that one to the max. So it depends how you want to do it. The Dream Day Journal is really powerful, going broad. But I know whenever I do the Dream Day Journal, there's generally one thing that really excites me when I'm journaling. So whether it's the dream home, for example, and that energy tends to really excite me. Or if you're wanting to manifest really, really fast, like having that one specific thing is really, really powerful. I would say Sarah's actually not giving me any specific guidance for you at the minute. So I want so much but can't pinpoint. Sarah's just kind of saying, get out of your head and just free fall a bit. Just move with whatever feels good, and then that clarity will start to shift. Are you doing your Dream Day Journal each day as well, Kate? That's the other thing just to check in with. She's saying, are you doing your Dream Day Journal each day? Because that tends to loosen things up. And when I started Dream Day journaling, I wasn't necessarily specific about certain things. There were some things I was certain about, like being certain about I wanted a laptop lifestyle, I wanted freedom and flexibility, I wanted to be able to work from anywhere in the world, I wanted to help people, I wanted to wake up to messages of thanks, all that kind of stuff excited me. But I didn't get any more specific than that, because the universe then bought me all of that and filled out the details for me as well. So I don't know whether any of that helps or makes sense. But it depends how fast you want to manifest as well. If you're really wanting to pull something in fast, having that one clear desire is really powerful. If you are just happy for the universe to fill everything in for you, then having that broader, wider reaching, feeling good that comes from something like the Dream Day Journal is really, really powerful too. So don't necessarily worry that you can't pinpoint, but know that if you're doing the Dream Day Journal and moving with the inspired actions, you will get more and more clarity around the pinpointing. Does that make sense? Okay. Joanne says, I wrote down what my dreams were and realised they are so close to my life. Could that block in some way? So how do you mean they are so close to your life? Can you just explain what you mean, Joanne, darling? Grace, I'm not sure about inner guidance. How do I know? Not sure of that. Not sure if that sounds right. I'm not sure about inner guidance. Okay, so inner guidance it's okay, so again, so much to kind of help you on a one-to-one basis with, much more in the inner circle, but sort of now just sort of give you some sort of more general guidance around this. You kind of know, you trust those impulses, those desires. What is it that feels good to you? What is it that makes you feel happy? And starting to move with what makes you feel happy, because it's all about the movement, then brings the next guidance in. So to get you moving, Grace, move with what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel excited, and then you'll kind of feel this guidance come through. I remember having the first ever massive inspired action that I had, which was about becoming a manifesting coach. It just felt like this massive light bulb moment. But sometimes you're feeling pushed or guided towards things. So I remember when I left PR, the universe had tried to get me to leave PR for about 5 years. I kept getting nudges. I kept feeling uncomfortable there. I kept feeling like I didn't want to do it, but I wasn't listening. I was literally dismissing the guidance, be like, I can't leave my job. I have to stay here. My head says I have to stay here. My head says this is safe. Okay. The head was saying, I can't afford to leave my job. I can't risk leaving my job. There's no way I could do my own business. Like, this is it. This is my lot. I wasn't listening to the pulls within me that were like, the universe trying to get me to leave. So the inner guidance can also just feel like nudges. It can also just feel like just wanting to do something. Do you want to go out into the fresh air? Do you what is it that sets your soul on fire? Kind of start with what it is that sets your soul on fire, Grace, and then move with the guidance that starts to come in after you've started moving what sets your soul on fire. Does that make sense? Okay, can you explain a little bit more about how you put things into your joy bucket? Okay, so again, so I have the fun pack bucket. So when I feel high vibrational, I ask Sarah to catch that vibration, those feelings, and to put that into my fun pack bucket. Then I also put, not for the fun pack bucket, I don't put truths in. I have truth buckets as well. Again, this is getting more into the complexity of things. That's probably a bit better described in the inner circle, so I don't want to confuse you. Focus on just the high vibrations for now, Claire. So literally every time you feel joy or high vibrations, put those into your joy bucket. And then if you're having a day where you're feeling more low vibrational, you can ask your higher self to pour that bucket of high vibration, that joy bucket, into your body. Start there is what Sarah's saying. We don't overcomplicate it more than that, but that's a perfect place to start, darling. So I hope that helps. Okay. Joanne says, I want to own my country home near water, and I rent my house in a country very close to a lake. It feels like my dreams are tinkering with the details, not massive changes. Okay, so again, Sarah's saying, okay, are you taking lots of inspired action? Have you looked at those new houses? I'm just seeing if I'm getting anything else, because I know this is something that you've had going on for a little while now. She's definitely saying be in love with where you are now. Be aware of wanting what you haven't got too much as well in this moment, is what she's saying. And to make massive changes, sometimes you need to make those massive changes. So are you showing the universe you are serious? Are you taking any leaps to really move that forward as well? So rather than just waiting for the universe to bring it to you, what is it that you are doing? Are you getting ready to move? Like, where is it you actually want to live? Okay, so you want your own country home near water, but you rent a house in a country very close to a lake. Okay, so I'm just seeing whether Sarah's bringing any guidance through for that. It's almost like something else in your life needs to move, she's saying, for that to then fall into place. And it's like you're almost doing it the hard way around. It's almost like when you move with your passions more, all of that other stuff will fall into place as a byproduct of it. And why is it you aren't happy where you are now with a home that's close to a lake? Why is it that's not really working for you right now? Because you've pretty much, you could say, got what it was that you wanted. What is it that's not working for you right now? And if it's that you don't want to be in that location, then move to the other location. Doesn't mean that you need to buy, but like go and rent in the new location, for example. Do you see what I mean? So if you give me a bit more insight around that, I can help with you, darling. Yes, thank you. I'm certain I want an inner circle, so I'm going to pinpoint on allowing the universe to help me obtain that. Awesome, Kate, darling. Can't wait to work with you. Grace says, perfect sense. Thank you so much. Sarah, you're welcome, Grace, darling. Catherine says, can you give an example of what you mean when you say contrast? Also, are you covering the releasing process as part of the inner circle? Okay, so with the releasing process, I'm not teaching it yet, but virtually every client I'm working with is doing it. So I can support you through it, but I'm not teaching it in the same way. I'm not. So the inner circle, if you are going through it, I'm there to help you, because obviously I've been doing it for a few months now, but it's not the main thing I will be teaching in the inner circle. That's something, if you are doing it, definitely the inner circle can help with that and support it, but it's not what I will be teaching in the inner circle, if that makes sense. But virtually every client that I'm working with now is moving through the releasing process in some way or another. So it's definitely a really powerful kind of, I don't know, there's a lot of people that come to me for advice around releasing because I'm so far down the releasing line now. So if you want that support whilst we're going through the inner circle, then yeah, I'm there and I can guide you and I can talk to you about my experience, give you some guidance from Sarah and that kind of thing. But I'm not kind of teaching it as like it's the whole thing that I'm teaching, and I'm literally there to take someone from the start of their releasing process to the end of it. But it's something, if you are doing it at the same time as working with me, I'm there to kind of guide you and help you. Okay. And what you say, I'm sorry, what I mean when I say contrast is anything that feels difficult. So like periods of growth or things that aren't working out for you, or things that make you feel low vibrational, basically, Catherine. So if you're feeling low vibrational, that tends to be contrast. So it can be a stressful situation. So it can be something quite mild, like, I don't know, there's different levels of contrast. There's like extreme contrast where you're being really challenged and trained by the universe and you just feel like nothing's really working out for you and your vibration feels really low. Or it can be milder contrast, like just getting a bit frustrated about something, or a bit unhappy, or a bit impatient about something. But it's basically low vibration because of you being out of alignment with what it is that you really want. Does that make sense? So and again, this inner circle is about driving the alignment to allow you to disempower that contrast more quickly. Now, there will always be some contrast because from the contrast, we create new desires. So Joanne just now, for example, saying about the house, she's not quite happy where she is now. But without not being quite happy with where she is now, she wouldn't create the new desire of what she does want. And we are here to always have new desires and always keep expanding and expanding the universe and the multiverse as a byproduct of expanding our lives, okay? So again, contrast is a part of the physical experience, but a lot of people let contrast become this massive thing where they feel low vibrational a lot of the time. They find it really hard to shift out of that, and that's what I want this inner circle to help you do, is to shift out of that. If you're in it, or if you're not in it, don't worry, but it's about being aligned the majority of the time rather than being in contrast the majority of the time, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps, Catherine. Joanne says, I'm happy. I just want to own and feel secure. Okay, so straight away, Joanne, Sarah's saying, feel secure now, and then it will all land. Okay, you're waiting. You are putting conditions on your happiness, Sarah's saying. So she's saying that you are wanting to own your place so that you feel secure. You're doing it the wrong way round, is what she's saying. So flip it. Focus on feeling secure now. And there's different ways that you can do that. You can either look at all the ways in your life that you do feel secure, and or you can then do and create new things to help you feel secure. So there's too much emphasis, she's saying, on not feeling that at the minute, and that's why it isn't moving. So what you feel, darling, is what manifests. So if you feel secure, the security will manifest, okay? But you're kind of waiting for the right conditions to come along for you to feel secure, and that actually with love, but that isn't vibrational mastery. Vibrational mastery is about choosing how you want to feel, and then the manifestations that match that feeling come in. Does that make sense? But that's really crystal clear from her for you, okay? There's too much need to feel secure at the moment, and that's why it's not quite moving. And I get it, like I've been there before. There's no judgment whatsoever, but it's going to help you to unlock that. If you can feel secure now, either look for ways in which you feel it or create new ways to feel it. When you flip your vibration to one of secureness, the universe will match it and bring you that security. Remember, guys, what you feel is what manifests. It's not what you think. So you may be thinking about feeling secure, but it's about what you feel about. Sarah's also saying, don't write about it in your dream day journal, because actually it's going to make you contract. She's saying for you to write about feeling secure, you're actually going to contract, because you've actually just got a bit too much wanting for it now. So the dream day journal is obviously freaking powerful if you aren't contracting, and she's just saying there's a little bit too much need to it at the minute. So don't dream day journal about it, almost get off topic and find security in other things. Feel secure, and then the universe will match it. So I hope that helps, darling. Okay, so you're welcome, Catherine, darling. Connie, I focus on my dream life but get held back by the debt from the past. When I focus on having zero debt, I get contrast. Yeah, okay, so Connie, darling, again, something that many people will be able to relate to. You need to get off topic, Sarah's saying. Don't even think about money, which is challenging. There is my money flow book, but also the inner circle, again, could be really, really powerful for you to help shift this. So again, Connie, darling, what Sarah's saying is don't wait for the money to come in to be happy and live your limitless life. Kind of start making those leaps and move now, and then the universe will kind of bring that money flow in. So it's almost like there's too much tension there, which I can completely relate to, having had a lot of universal training around money myself, hence the money book. It's about starting your dream life now, regardless of the money flow. Okay, so when I was thinking about my dream life in my dream day journal, I journaled around working from home, having a laptop lifestyle, helping people, though I had no idea how, and waking up to messages of thanks. So I didn't go into any detail whatsoever, and I didn't write about money because it made me contract. And then within a few weeks of writing that dream day journal, the inspired action of becoming a manifesting coach came through. And even then, I didn't do it thinking this is going to bring me money. I did it because it freaking excited me. Can't tell you how much it excited me. So for those of you that are lacking that clarity, start using Dream Day Journal, because it does bring that clarity and those moments of inspiration through. But I moved and started playing with all of that before the money came. Okay, what you feel is what manifests. So I felt excited, aligned, happy, limitless, and then the money came in. So don't focus on having zero debt, because I would be exactly the same as you, darling. That would really make me contract. Think about everything else. Where else in your life can you move to follow your passions? Where else can you move to unlock this and energy? And remember, you may have heard me say this before, my darling, but I remember Abraham saying, if you have 10 things in your life and 5 are working and 5 aren't, most human beings will try and fix the 5 that aren't to make themselves feel better, not understanding that's doing it the hard way. Whereas if you focus on the 5 things that are working, or the 5 things that excite you, and put your energy over there, then the other things sort themselves out. So by you moving with your other areas, if you like, and not even thinking about money, but focusing on the stuff that excites you and getting your attention over here off topic, that money flow will loosen. And also, there is a lot of heavy energy around money and debt, and I totally get it. Debt isn't a bad thing. Virtually every single person I know has it in some form or another, but you don't want it to start becoming toxic for you, darling, because that's what I was like before I mastered the art of money manifesting. Debt to me was very, very toxic and really lowered my vibration. I would always really beat myself up. You can kind of see how that really spirals. So for you, darling, get off topic and move your life in other ways, but you've kind of got to do it the back to front way. It's not the back to front way. It feels back to front because everyone else is doing it the hard way. It's actually the right way, but it feels back to front compared to how the rest of the population virtually are doing it. But it's about moving with what excites you, making those leaps, and then the universe will bring you the cooperative components. So I hope that helps, my darling. I love you so much. I know how it feels to be there, but something's got to shift, because right now you're not moving. You're kind of in that energy where you feel a bit stuck. You kind of got to get off the topic of money and move in other ways, and then the money will come in. Remember, money is a byproduct of your expansion. Okay, it's not about getting the money and then you expand. The money comes as a byproduct of your expansion. So move, my darling, and expand. And I love you so, so, so much. Okay, what else have we got? Grace says, loads of useful information today, Sarah. This has been the best live yet. Oh, thank you. Feel like I've learned so much today. Thank you. Awesome. I was a little bit worried I was overwhelming you guys, but I can't not talk about it now because it's what I teach to all my clients. So it's just part and parcel of what I now teach. So although it's quite out there, some of that leading edge stuff, it's just part of the clients that work with me really closely and have those kind of face Zoom sessions with me, whether it's in a one-to-one or group format. It's just part and parcel of what I now teach. So it would only be fair and right for me to share some of that in this warm-up for those of you that are thinking about doing the in a circle, because this content is going to be in there, but it won't be overwhelming. I will help you with it all. But I'm really, really glad you've loved it, Grace. Thank you for sharing that. Kate says, I feel so much appreciation for you and that we are aligned. I love you too, Kate, darling. Me too. Me too. Feeling is mutual. Be lovely to meet you face to face at some point. Claire says, I just messaged some flat shares to go and view them. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Loving the inspired action, Claire, my darling. Go, go, go. Grace says, no, not at all. It makes perfect sense. Awesome. So pleased, Grace. Awesome, awesome. Connie says, thank you, love you. I love you so much, Connie. You've so got this. But get off of the topic of money and let go of guilt. Sarah's saying there's kind of a lot of guilt there. Let go of it. Money is just energy. This is why I have my money flow book, my money courses. And even people that work with me in the closer programs like the Inner Circle, money always comes up because there's so much low vibration that gets generated from it, and I can't bear it, because each and every one of you are so special, so loved, so precious, but there's a lot of negative self-talk that goes on around money. And if I could just wrap you all up in cotton wool, I would, but I know it's part of your universal training and expansion as well. But don't do it the long-winded way, do it the shortcut way. Learn from my mistakes, learn from me learning it the hard way so that you can do it the easy way. But you've so got this, okay? Okay, my darling, so as expected, we have sort of run out of time a little bit today, but what I might do tomorrow is, well, what I will do tomorrow, Sarah's saying, is weave another power practice in. So whether, I know that we've done power yesterday, and we did Aligning with Your Desires on Monday. We may do one where we call in the law of balance tomorrow with one of my other awesome non-physical guides, who I feel so blessed to have guiding me, because he can help me bring through so much stuff for you. So I think maybe we will harness his energy tomorrow and bringing that law of balance, that vibration of balance, which equals alignment, which is what this is all about. Okay, my darlings? So I will be back on live again tomorrow for part 4. Any questions about the inner circle, inbox me, or if you're feeling called to do it, just do it. Don't filter the inspired actions. I will keep saying it, Sarah keeps saying it. There are some of you that are letting your ego talk you out of it. And just as someone that ignored their inner calling for 5 years in the world of PR, don't do it. Let's make this decade the best decade ever. And if you just want to have an initial chat with me, that's fine as well. But do something, move with it. Don't just dismiss it. Let yourself be led, Sarah's saying. So, my darlings, I love you so much. Have the most amazing Wednesday. I'm now off to be very vortexing aligned this afternoon. I hope you are too. Play with some of those tools today and keep working on your alignment. Keep allowing yourself to feel led, and remember that you really and truly are completely and utterly limitless. And I can't wait to see you all back here tomorrow, my darlings. Sending you so much love. Mwah. Bye.